The last time someone started ignoring you, you helped them do it. Not on purpose, but in how you reacted the moment you felt the shift. I'm going to show you the exact moment you lost control, and why most people realize it too late. See, you think ignoring is obvious, that it starts when the silence becomes clear. It doesn't. It starts earlier, when their behavior changes slightly, and you respond like nothing changed. You keep talking after they've mentally checked out. You try to restart the energy when they already let it drop. You try to be funny when they stopped laughing. But something already moved, and the way you handled that moment told them everything they needed to know. And this is the part most people never catch. They think ignoring is the problem, that something suddenly changed, that if you just say the right thing, you can pull things back. So you react late. You try to fix it, explain it. But by then, you're not changing anything. You're responding to a decision that's already been made, because there's a rule almost nobody understands. The moment you react to losing attention, you confirm you've already lost it. And from that point on, everything you do feels different. Heavier, less respected. That's why by the time someone starts ignoring you, you're not at the beginning. You're at the end. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think ignoring is where it starts. It's not. It already started before that, in small ways you felt, but didn't take seriously. Like when their replies got shorter, and you told yourself they were just busy. Or when they stopped asking about you, but you kept the conversation going anyway. Or when the energy felt off, and you acted like it wasn't. That's where it begins. Not in the silence, in the shift before it. Ignoring is not the event. It's the result. It builds quietly, in moments that don't look important at the time. You feel it, but you don't adjust. And that tells them something. More than anything you say. There's a line from A.A. Atanasio I heard once. Silence is a text easy to misread. Most people don't misread it at the end. They misread it at the beginning. You weren't ignored overnight. You were slowly removed. Think about it for a second. When did it actually start? Not when they stopped replying. Before that. Was it when the replies got shorter? Or when they stopped showing interest? You don't have to comment it. Just be honest with yourself. It doesn't look serious at first. That's why it works. They don't stop talking to you. They just stop trying. You start noticing small things, but nothing you can point to. Like when conversations end, and they don't restart them. Or when you share something, and they just react to it, instead of responding. Or when you disappear for a while, and they don't even notice. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because now you feel the shift, but you can't prove it. So you explain it away. You tell yourself they're tired, busy, going through something. Anything except what it actually is. Because if you admit what it is, you have to face what's happening. And most people don't want to face that. So they adjust the story, instead of adjusting their behavior. And that's how the gap gets wider. Without you doing anything different. They pull back a little. You stay the same. They pull back more. You stay the same. Until one day, there's nothing left to respond to. You noticed it, but you explained it away. At some point, you knew. Not fully, But enough. Enough to feel something was off. Enough to hesitate before sending that message. Enough to notice the change in how they showed up. But you didn't follow that feeling. You pushed past it. You told yourself it wasn't that deep, that you were overthinking, that it would go back to normal, because accepting it would mean you were already losing them, that things weren't the same anymore, that you had less control than you thought, and that's hard to sit with. So instead, you stayed in a version of the situation that felt better, not the one that was actually happening. You kept moving like nothing changed when everything already had. Philosopher Albert Hubbard said it best. People who don't understand your silence won't understand your words either. And the truth is, you didn't even understand your own silence. You felt it and ignored it. If you've ever done that, where you knew something wasn't right, but chose not to face it, then you'll understand this. Subscribe. Because this isn't about telling you what you want to hear. It's about helping you see what you've been avoiding. Here's the part nobody tells you. When they start pulling back, they're not confused. They're paying attention. Not to what you say, to how you react. You send something. They take longer than usual to reply, and instead of leaving it, you send another message to fill the gap. Not because you had more to say, but because the silence felt uncomfortable. That moment right there, that's what they're watching. How quickly you break, how much you adjust, how much you need the response. Because ignoring you is not rejection, it's evaluation. They're not deciding based on one message. They're watching your pattern. Do you stay the same? Or do you start shifting around them? Do you hold your ground or start trying to regain control? And the truth is, most people expose themselves in that phase. Not by what they say, but by how they handle the space. Silence is where people decide your value. Because when there's no response, there's nothing to hide behind. No validation. No reassurance. Just you. And how you deal with it. And that's what changes everything. And this is where things start going wrong. Not for them. For you. Because once they pull back, most people don't slow down. They speed up. You start doing more, not realizing it's making things worse. They make plans, and you hear about it afterwards. So you follow up with something lighter, just to stay in the picture. Now it's not a real conversation anymore. It's you trying to hold it together. And they can feel that. Not in what you say, in how you show up. You start explaining things that didn't need explaining. Trying to clear tension that wasn't spoken. Fixing something they haven't even addressed. And that's when the shift happens. Not on your side, on theirs. They stop seeing you the same way. Because now, you're not someone they're choosing. You're someone trying to be chosen. And in doing that, you confirm the decision. If this is hitting harder than you expected, you already know why. Like the video, and send it to someone who needs to hear this, even if they won't admit it. There's a moment where everything could have gone differently. It's small, easy to miss. It's when you feel the change, and instead of reacting, you could have stepped back. Just once. Not to play games, but to see clearly. But most people don't do that. They lean in, right when they should have paused. And that moment, that's the turning point. Because after that, You're not responding anymore. You're trying to recover. And recovery doesn't look the same. It feels heavier, forced, noticed. And by the time you realize it, that moment is gone. Let me make this simple. You didn't lose them when they pulled away. You lost them in what you did next. Think about it. You're in a group. Everyone's talking. You notice they're not really engaging with you anymore, so you start trying to get their attention. You jump into conversations more. You try to add something smart, something funny, something that lands. But it doesn't. And the more you try, the more it feels off. Not because you said something wrong, but because they can feel why you're doing it. You're not just talking anymore. You're trying to be noticed. And that changes everything. You don't lose people when they ignore you. You lose them in how you respond to being ignored. Pythagoras explained it perfectly. He said, "It's better to say nothing than to say something that doesn't carry weight." And most people start talking more the moment their words matter less. But here's where it shifts. Completely. The moment you stop trying to fix it, you start seeing it clearly. A Stoic doesn't chase attention. They watch. They notice the change, without rushing to react to it. Because reacting too fast is what exposes you. Think about someone you've seen who stays calm when the energy changes. They don't talk more. They don't force anything. They just pull back slightly. And suddenly, people start adjusting to them instead. Why? Because they're not predictable. And the moment you stop reacting, you stop being predictable. No pressure. No chasing. No trying to hold anything together. Just control. So if someone starts ignoring you, don't take that as a signal to chase. Take it as a signal to pause. To step back just enough to see what's actually happening. Because the moment you stop trying to hold their attention, you start holding your position. And that's what most people don't understand. The one who needs less moves differently, speaks less, reacts slower, and ends up in control without forcing anything. Not because they're playing a game, but because they're not afraid of losing what's already fading. And if you get this wrong, you don't just lose them, you lose how they see you. And once that changes, it's very hard to get back. That's why knowing this isn't enough. Because in the moment, most people still react the wrong way. They feel the shift and do exactly what makes it worse. So if you want to handle that moment differently, before you say something you can't take back, watch the next video on your screen. It shows you exactly what to do. When they start pulling away, watch that next. Before you make the mistake most people don't even realize they're making.